Hey, everyone. Welcome to 100 Days of Purpose. And yes, I am your coach, Linda, and I am excited to be here today. We are going to be talking about making the shift. I think that many times we stay too long in a position, and by us staying too long, and I'm not just talking about in a position at your job or at the church or in the ministry. I'm talking about we stay in a stuck position for too long. Something has been working, and so we're glad about it, and we get into the trek of, okay, this works, so I'm not gonna, if it's, we say something like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's not broke, don't fix it, or whatever we say, right? And so we feel that this is going to be the way it is, and then it's fun in the beginning, and then it becomes not so much fun, or you have obstacles and situations and circumstances that arise, and it's no longer fun to be in that position. And you wonder, is there more to life? You wonder, is there more to, this? Is this all there is? And you start asking yourself questions about, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I, why is this person successful and I'm still right here? Or maybe I'm very successful, but can I be more successful, or can I do more, or do should I do less? And so there's all of these questions that come up. And I know last year a lot of people were asking themselves, what do I do now? I lost my job. I'm about to lose my house. They're coming for the car. I'm living off of my savings and that's about gone. Maybe you were able to transition from working in a brick and mortar to working from home, but now you're at home and your kids are on your nerves, your spouse is on your nerves, or maybe you live alone, so you don't have that interaction that you would normally have if you were going into an office building, and you just become, you're just trudging along. You're just in that muck and mire of life, and nothing really seems to be going well. Nothing seems to be doing what you want it to do, or maybe it's just acceptable. It's just good, and you want to live that excellent life, but you're living this good life, right? um and so how do you make the shift? How do you determine if a shift is even needed? And my thing is, when you are sitting in that place of questioning your life, are you getting real? Are you looking at what's bringing you joy and what's not? And if it's not bringing you joy, are you confronting it? Or are you just sitting back passively and saying, oh, well, that's just life. And that's just what happens to me. Because I think if you're going to make a shift, you've got to think about it this way: earthquake. That shake, that quake, right? When an earthquake comes, you don't know. I live in California. You don't know exactly when it's going to happen. We've been told for years, the big one's coming, right? And in 89, I thought that was the big one, 7.1 on the Richter scale, and it shook all of San Francisco. The marina was almost drifted out to sea, right? And there were buildings downtown San Francisco that fell. The Bay Bridge, a portion of the Bay Bridge fell. There were, other freeways that had structural damage, homes. There was fires that broke out. People lost their lives. It was hectic. I remember thinking, oh my God, what am I going to walk into? Because I was at work, and I was like, what am I going to walk into when I walk home? When I walk into my house, what is it going to look like? Is it even going to be there? The bus systems broke down, so I couldn't take BART, right? And I had to walk from downtown San Francisco, Montgomery, or Embarcadero. I get it was Embarcadero. So the Embarcadero area, I had to walk from Embarcadero to Diamond Heights, where I lived near Twin Peaks. If you know anything about San Francisco, that's a long walk. That's a long walk. I had to walk it because there were no buses. There was no one could really drive, or everybody was panicked, right? And people were taking advantage of even that. And so you didn't know who to trust, and I'm a single female out there walking, and got my purse to me, and I don't know tears going down my face because I don't know what I'm about to walk into. But I had to get my mind wrapped around that my house might not be there, my apartment that I just rented might not be there. The things that the little bit of furniture that I had might be tousled, and the dishes that I have might be broken up, and there was just so much going on in my mind that I didn't know. It was uncertainty. With the pandemic, there was so much uncertainty. We didn't know from day to day what to expect. People were losing their lives on a daily basis in the thousands. People were coming down with corona and becoming sick, and there was just so much people that I never thought would be wrapped into this, people that I loved, people that I cared about. I even lost family members to it. And so there was so much uncertainty. And people during these times ask themselves, have I lived my life the way that I need to live my life? If I die right now, can I die with a peace knowing that I've done all that I could do? At least that was my question. Have I done everything that I was supposed to do? Because I don't know what tomorrow holds, and I don't know what I'm about to walk into. I don't know how this is going to change my life. So I've had two catastrophic things that happened in my life. And I'm talking about out of the normal catastrophic, not, I lost my father several years ago, and that in itself was life changing. But even more than that, it's this, we are expected to lose people along the way. People get old and they die of old age, or they have heart attacks, or, things happen, right? Life happens. And so we always are having to make a shift in life, because either we've lost something, or we lost someone, or we change our desires, we change what we aspire to. And so there always has to be a shift. But how do you make that shift when you're in an uncertainty? How do you make that shift when you don't know if the shift is going to get you to the point where you want to be? How do you make the shift when you're uncertain about if it's even the right thing to do? Or should you just stay? And so that's why I asked you, why am I stuck? Because if you can truly answer that question, if you can look your life and really get real with yourself, and stop telling yourself these lies, and stop telling yourself it's okay, this just happens. But if you can get real with yourself and say, there's more to life than what I'm experiencing and I want it, then it's easy for you to make the shift that you need to make so that you can attain the things that you're supposed to attain. There are people out there waiting on you to make the shift. Why are they waiting on you to make the shift? Because they need you to show up. They need you to shine. They need you to come alive. And you can't do that being passive and accepting what you have now, especially if you're questioning. If your mind is thinking, you know what, there has to be more than this. I hate my life. Why? I was talking with a lady, and I don't even know her. So I would call, I don't know her. We were having a conversation. I believe she told me her name, but it wasn't, she She was just some random on the street. And I was in waiting on something, and she just came up to me and she said, "Oh, let me read your t-shirt." And I had on one of my gospel t-shirts, and it says "Preach Kingdom," restoration and all of that. And she was like, "Oh, that's powerful. I like that. Where'd you get it?" And so I told her where I got my shirt from. And she said, "There's something about you. What is it about you?" And I said, I don't know. She said, "There's a glow to you. There's something that pulled me over here." Because it's like, I've seen you before, but every time I see you, I'm drawn to you. And this time, because you had something on your shirt, and I really wanted to know what was on your shirt, and I really wanted to know, I just really wanted to talk to you, I decided to bite the bullet. She made a shift. See, she could have kept seeing me and been drawn to me, but she decided, "I'm going to speak." And so we started talking. And as we started talking, the Spirit of God just told me to minister to her. And I was like, okay. And so while she was talking about what she was talking about her family. She was talking about how this pandemic, how she's grateful that, she really hasn't lost anyone throughout this pandemic. Her family is really small. So any one of them dying of this would have been, just heartbreaking for them, because there's not many of them left over. And she was talking about that, and I could see the tears welling up in her eyes. And as she was talking, I was praying and getting in touch with the Spirit of God that's on the inside of me, and linking it to the Spirit of God that is above me. And I was asking God, "What is it that you want me to say?" Because when she finishes speaking, I need to speak some type of life into her. I need to help her with this shift that she has made today. And so the Spirit gave me what to say, and I just started talking to her. And she was like, "How did you know? How did you know what to say to me? We've never talked before. How did you know what I needed to hear?" And I just told her, I said, "Well, the Spirit of God told me to minister to you. And so as you were speaking, I was listening, but I was also praying that God would give me what you needed at this moment." And if we make the shifts that we're supposed to make in our life, we can only be better for it, right? So we've got to be accepting that there is a shift needed. And with that shift, we can't be afraid to take the necessary steps we need to take. And like I always say, if you fall down, if you make wrong decisions, get up, dust yourself off, and be like, "Okay, that one didn't work. Let's go to the next door." And you keep knocking. You keep knocking, you keep pushing, you keep seeking until you find the right door, until you find the right opportunity, until you find the right people, and you made the shift that you need to make. But the shift starts in your mind. You got to change the way you think. You got to change the way that you allow people to speak to you. You have to change the way you speak to people. You have to change the way you do things. Sometimes we do things that we are our worst enemy. We do things that stop and hinder and block us, and then we want to say it's somebody else's fault. We want to say it's because we don't have education, because we don't speak well, because we don't have this, and we don't have the money, and we don't have this. And we can come up with every excuse in the book. But I'm telling you, you need to make the shift. You need to change your mindset. You need to stop with that stinking thinking. You need to stop with that thinking that got you stuck in the pit. It's time for you to come out of the pit. I use this analogy all the time, and I'm going to stick to it because it is true. It's the best way to describe what it is that I do. There's a man, and he's walking, and he falls into a pit. right? Maybe he wasn't watching where he was going. I don't know, but he falls into a pit, and he's down there, and he's hurt, and he might have broken limbs. I don't know. He's just in this pit, and he's crying out for help. And the first person that comes by is a lawyer, and the lawyer sees him in there, and he's like, "Can you help me get out?" And the lawyer's like, "Here." He tosses him a business card. He says, "When you get out, come see me. Give me a call. I'll help you sue the person that made this pit that you fell into." He says, "But I'm still in the pit. Can you help me out?" And the lawyer keeps on walking. Then there is a doctor that comes by. He's crying out for help. Help me, somebody help me." The doctor takes a peek into the pit. He sees the man. He's like, "Oh man, look at you. You really need my services." He writes him a prescription and throws it in. He says, "When you come out, come see me. I'll get you all bandaged up. I'll make sure that you get more of the prescriptions. I'll make sure I'll take care of you medically. Just come see me when you get out." And the man's like, "But I'm still in here. Can you help me out?" And the doctor keeps going his way. And then just as average Joe comes walking, and he's crying out for help. "Help me, help me, help me." And the average Joe looks in and he says, "Oh man, you fell into the pit, did you?" He's like, "Yeah, can you help me out?" And the man jumps in the pit. And now the man's like, "Dude, we're both in the pit. We're both up now." And he says, "Not so much. Because see, I've been here before. I know the way out. You need someone who is going to take you by the hand. Not just throw you a piece of paper, not just throw you a business card, not just say some wonderful things and they're untouchable, but someone who's going to get in the muck and the mire and get in that stuck place with you, get in that sand trap with you, get in that quicksand with you and show you how to get out. Show you how to make the shift. Show you how to change the mindset. Show you how to go through the transformation. Show you how to look at fear in the face and face it and say, "You know what? I might be afraid, but I'm doing it anyway." To understand that, yeah, I may not know, all the ducks might not be in the row. I may not understand what's going to happen tomorrow, but what I do understand is I can't stay here, because if I stay here, I'm going to die. If I stay here, I am not going to live the life that I'm supposed to live. And if I stay here, the people that need me the most will never get the help that they need to get. So I've got to make the shift, as scary as it may feel, as uncertain as it may feel, as unneeded sometimes as it may feel. I have to make this shift. I've got to understand that I can't stay here. I can't remain the way that I am. Even if I'm successful and everything is going good, there's still more for me. So I'm not just talking to the downtrodden. I'm not just talking to those that are struggling. I'm talking to those that are selling and soaring high. Can you soar higher? Can you sell more? Can you go further? Are you satisfied with where you are? Because if you're like me, you want to do more. You want to be more. You want to grow more. And as long as there's breath in this body, and I'm in my right mind, and I have the activity of my limbs, I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep striving. I'm going to keep going through the motions that I need to go through for the transformation to fully happen. Because guess what? As soon as I transform into the butterfly, there's going to be something else for me to transform into. There's going to be someone else that I need to get my little claws on, right? And so if that's the case, if there's still growth on the inside of me, I can be 52, or I can be 75, or I can be 23, I can be 7. It does not matter how old you are. It does not matter your education. It does not matter who says you can or can't. It matters that you have a made up mind to make the switch, to make the shift, to do what is best for you and those around you. So today, can you make the shift? Today, can you change your mindset? Today, can you think about where you want to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Do you want your life to look like it looks today? Or do you want to be thriving and prosperous? So, homework. Are you ready to do what's necessary? By any means necessary. Because that's the type of mindset you got to have. I know there's more for me. And by me attaining the more, I'm not just helping me, but I'm helping those around me. I'm helping those attached to me. I'm helping those assigned to me. I'm helping my family from my generation forward. I am breaking cycles of generational curses. I'm breaking cycles of poverty. I'm breaking cycles of uneducation. I'm breaking cycles of we can't, and because it's never been done before. I'm breaking those, and I'm showing people in my family, I'm showing people that are watching me, I'm showing people that are attached to me that if they put their mind to it, they can do anything, but they have to make the shift. They have to change their mindset. So are you willing to do whatever it takes? Blood, sweat, tears. It's hard work. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes it's a bit scary because you get out there on that limb and you're at the end of that limb and there's nothing but you, air, and the ground. But are you willing to take that leap of faith? Are you willing to take that step of faith? Remember in the movie, and I'm closing, remember in the movie Indiana Jones, he had to take the leap of faith and it looked like he was about to step to his death, but when he took the step, boom, the floor appeared. That's not just in the movie, that's in life. Why? Because if you're clear about where you're going and you trust and have faith in the process, manifestation happens. So let's do this. Let's get her done. I'm Coach Linda, and you know what I always say, I'm out.